Good evening. It is Wednesday, April 9th, 9:56 p.m. Central Daylight Time, local time here in Memphis, Texas. I'm still in Memphis, Texas, and I'm staying the night. So that's my truck over on the right side of the shop. That is their Bay 3. Bay 3 is an outside bay. So they weren't able to get everything fixed. There's a cat peeing on my tire. So there were two issues that I put the trailer in the shop for. Number one, ABS light was out. Number two is the airbags were completely dumping. Like the entire air system dumps whenever you set the trailer brakes. I've never had a trailer do that, but I've heard that some trailers are designed to do that. They have an automatic dump valve so that whenever you set the brakes, it just dumps the entire air system. So right now the brakes are not set, so the air suspension is working. And I'll go set the brakes and show you what it does. But the mechanics told me that that was not an issue. That's just the way this particular trailer is designed. So that is not something I could get fixed. It's something I'm going to have to deal with until I can get rid of this piece of crap trailer. This is a 2014 Vanguard trailer. It's an old trailer. I'm surprised Landstar has a trailer over 10 years old in their fleet, because a lot of customers will not allow loads old. Like that's a requirement for a lot of customers, is that the trailer has to be 10 years or newer. So anyway, that was not an issue, working as intended. But while they were down there inspecting the air system, they noticed that one of my brakes was bad. It's actually on the other side, on the front. Let's see if you can see it through here. I think it's too dark. So basically, the brake pads were missing the springs. They had sheared off of the pins that hold them in place. The pins were missing. The holes in the metal that holds the brake pads in place that mount, basically the mounting bracket, was sheared off. Like where the holes were at, where the pin went through, it was just like sheared off. So the brake pads were free floating inside the drum, and they were not really attached to anything. They weren't doing anything. They were just free floating inside the drum. So, needless to say, we needed to get, see, they didn't even bother hooking the airlines back up. We needed to get all of that brake stuff fixed. So they took the tires off, and they inspected it. So the brakes needed to be replaced. The drum was okay, actually. They thought that the drum was going to need to be replaced, but the drum was okay. The camshaft that goes from the brake chamber to the brake pads, the shaft itself was good, but the bushings were worn out, so they needed to replace the bushings. And the ABS system, which I thought was just a light out, ended up being the entire ABS system is out. The ABS system is not getting a signal. It's not powering on. Whenever you first connect the electrical line or turn on the truck, the trailer is supposed to go through a diagnostic, and you can hear it clicking and turning on lights and stuff like that. The trailer doesn't do that. It doesn't go through the diagnostic. Actually, no, I take that back. Yes, it's not going through the diagnostic. The mechanic said that it's not going through the diagnostic. The ECU is just not functioning at all. and they checked the wires going to the ECU, and they said that they are getting voltage to the ECU, so they want to replace the ECU or the ABS main board or whatever. But you can see they replaced the ABS light. There's the empty hole that it was in, and there's the new light dangling. So they did not bother to put that back in yet. They didn't bother to put the brakes on. So one of my tires doesn't have brakes or anything. They just threw the tires on and told me that I could pull over here into this outside bay for the night, because they do not have these parts. They have to order them tomorrow. So they are going to order an ECU for the trailer in the morning, and they're going to order the bushings. They don't have the bushings in stock. The only part that they have in stock are the brake pads. So they have to order the bushings and the ECU and wait for them to get in the morning, and then they have to install them. And I contacted Landstar and asked them, you know, am I allowed to move the trailer? And they said, no, I can't leave this property. So Landstar said I can't leave the property. And they called Landstar and asked Landstar, like, they said we're closing at 11 and we can't get the parts tonight. What do we need to do with this driver? Can we just like throw the tires on without the brakes or anything and just let him park in the parking lot for the night? And Landstar was like, yeah, you can do that. So they just put the tires on, and they didn't, like, there's a whole bunch of things missing on the trailer. And I'm gonna show you what it does whenever you set the trailer brakes. So one of the things you'll notice, you see how the trailer's setting right now? It's gonna like slouch down. Listen to this hissing and watch the trailer dump. I don't know how well you can hear all that creaking and stuff. What I actually need to do is release the tractor brakes, because when it does this, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the fifth wheel. So I'm going to release the tractor brakes, let it stabilize. And now I'm going to set the tractor brakes again. And you can still hear it. No, it's done. It's already released everything. Those are my drive. So you see how close the trailer's getting to the tires? And the trailer will get at an angle. The front's going to be higher than the back, and that made it really difficult to slide the tandems. I couldn't slide the tandems using the regular trailer brakes. I had to use my my Johnson bar, my regular brakes for the trailer, not the parking brakes, to slide the tandems. But yeah, parking here for the night because all the spots were taken by the time they kicked me out. So I asked them if I could park over here, and they said, yep. And they open up supposedly at 6 a.m., but he told me that the manager is not really going to get here until 7. So he told me not to go in there and check with them until 7. He said that I don't need to check in with them at all, that they'll just call me whenever the parts are here and they're ready for me to pull into a bay. But I don't trust mechanics. I've had that happen before where they told me, yeah, just go park in the parking lot. We'll give you a call tomorrow when the parts come in. And I've sat there all day and then like walk over there in the afternoon and be like, hey, what's the story on the parts? And they're like, who are you? And the night shift did not relay to the day shift what was going on. So nobody knew anything about it. So I'm not trusting. I'm not a trusting person. So I'm going to go in there at 7 a.m. as soon as... I thought they opened at 6 a.m. and I was like, I'll be in here at 6 a.m. to check in with them. And they said, don't do that. We don't open up the shop till about 7, maybe even 7:15. So I said, okay, well, I'll come in at 7 and check with them and make sure that they know that I'm still here and, you know, we're going to do all this stuff. So, yeah, I could not leave here if I wanted to right now because the trailer is like partially disassembled. It's missing a bunch of parts. They didn't even torque the lug nuts on the tire when they put it on. So, I mean, it's just, I can't move this trailer out of this parking lot. So I'm stuck here. And hopefully everything gets fixed tomorrow. One of the things that I'm really concerned with is the main mechanic here told me that he's not very good with ABS. So it's going to be a different mechanic tomorrow, but this is like one of their top mechanics here, and he said none of them are really very good at ABS. So I am really concerned that this is going to turn into a major issue if they can't get the ABS fixed, and Landstar won't let me leave the property without the ABS working. If I would have known that this was going to be a major ABS issue, like the part that they're wanting to replace, I'm not sure how much it costs now, but last time a shop wanted to replace the ECU on the trailer, the part by itself was somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 for just the ECU, not including the labor and then the delivery fee to get it shipped in from Amarillo and all the rest of that stuff. And then the brake system, I think the current quote on that, with just the brake pads, the quote was about $500. For replacing the ABS light and replacing the brake pads, the quote was around $500. But now they're also going to have to do the bushings on the camshaft, and they're going to have to replace the ECU, which is probably going to be another, I don't know, $3,500, $4,000. So we're going to be somewhere in the ballpark of $5,000 on the total bill, and hopefully we're able to get it all fixed tomorrow. These are the type of major expenses that you can have, the unexpected expenses you can have with equipment. And this time, it sucks that I'm having to waste a whole bunch of time dealing with it, but I'm lucky that these unexpected expenses are being shouldered by Landstar on their trailer, and I'm not having a $5,000 unexpected expense on my truck. So, yeah, I'm about to crawl in the truck. I was gonna go get some Sonic, but Sonic closed at 9. I walked over there. I was surprised they were already shut down. And I asked Loves, like, what time do they close? And they said they close at different hours every night. Sometimes they close at 9, sometimes they close at 10. So, who knows what's going on with Sonic. But I guess I'll just crawl into the truck and I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I was ready to drive. My plan was to drive past Albuquerque tonight. Actually, tonight. I was planning on being on the other side of Albuquerque by like early morning this morning. Like Thursday morning, like 3 or 4 a.m. I was hoping to be on the other side of Albuquerque, on the west side of Albuquerque. But that's not happening. But I do have quite a bit of extra time on this load. So as long as everything gets fixed tomorrow, I'm still going to be on schedule. And I'm still going to be easily on time for the load. That trailer has got a bad connection. You see the lights flickering on and off. Did the driver notice it? Are they going to get out and check their electrical line? Yep, the driver, no. They're just driving off. But anyway, this sucks, but it's not a huge problem because I have so much extra time on this load. However, I do want to maintain a good relationship with this agent. It's one of my favorite agents. She's really good about keeping me informed as to what's going on. So even though at this moment there's no reason to think that this is going to affect the delivery time, I still let her know what's going on. And I told her that I don't expect that this is going to cause me to be late. But I did give her a heads up as to what was going on. So, anyway, just a heads up as to what's going on with me. I'll probably do another driving video tomorrow when I finally get out of here. Hopefully I get out of here tomorrow. And when I do get out of here tomorrow, I'll do a driving video giving you an update as to what all happened to get me fixed. I am quite concerned that they're not going to be able to fix the ABS issue. And I don't know how I'm going to get the ABS issue fixed. I'm not sure if I finished saying earlier that if I would have known that there was a major ABS issue with the trailer, I would have drove into Amarillo. I would have gone to a TA Petro in Amarillo to get the ABS worked on rather than get it worked on here. I thought that it was just going to be a light. So, yeah, I should have gone on into Amarillo. But I'm stuck here now. Learned from my mistake. I won't do this again. Next time I will just go on into Amarillo to get things done. But anyway, I'm going to keep this video short. I have been standing out here, you know, hanging out with the mechanics that I couldn't sit in my truck. Whenever they said that whenever they have the trailer jacked up, I'm not allowed to be inside the truck. So I've been standing outside for I don't know how many hours. What time did I get here? I got here at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 or 3. So I've been standing out here for like 6 or 7 hours. So I'm gonna go relax in the truck and hopefully we get everything fixed tomorrow. But have a good one. Bye.